Ladies and gentlemen, it's time and on time for another episode of Mind Your Fucking Business with your host, Jeffrey Princeman.
Thank you, Dougie Sticks, coming to you as always from the beautiful studios of Undefeated Media here in Bergen County, New Jersey. This is the Mind Your Fucking Business podcast brought to you by both the Bamboozle Project and DraftKings. We thank them both, of course, for their sponsorship. You can go check out www.thebamboozleproject.com and save 20% off your total order with promo code MYPB. I know that a bunch of you, I don't know if you saw this, Doug, they hit up some of the inventory on Monday.
Yeah.
Had some stuff, quote unquote.
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday. So I believe a lot of that stuff is back in stock and will arrive to you by the holiday season. Whether your holiday is Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever it may be, it'll get to you in time. I promise you.
Absolutely.
This is episode 212, Doscientos Doce on the, I don't think I said that right. Did I say that? Doscientos Doce.
That does not sound right.
Doesn't sound right at all. But anyway, if you need the English translation, because that didn't sound well.
Eric, our translator, says it's good.
It's good? All right. All right. Good to go. Doscientos Doce, episode 212 on the Spanish style. We thank you for tuning in with us today whenever you are listening to us. If you're listening to us live, we are taping the show on December 3rd. It is Wednesday morning, December 3rd, the morning after the Dallas Stars game, which we'll get to in a little bit. You can listen to the show live this morning on December 3rd on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all of those good things that are available to you. And you can also stream it at your convenience whenever you are ready on Spotify or Apple Podcast. You can do that at your convenience. How are you, Doug?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. We do hope you all had a very good Thanksgiving as well. We should mention that before we get into it. And the night before Thanksgiving, when you are sitting home and you're kind of prepping for the next day, whether you're getting your turkey ready, your sweet potato pie, whatever it is you make, pecan pie.
Don't get me started.
Don't get you started. You know that we won't get into this. I'm just going to say it and then I'm going to totally ignore it because I want to focus on the Rangers. Because I weighed myself today versus last week, the amount of weight that I gained in a week is unbelievable.
What would you grade the food at your Thanksgiving this year?
I always say an A. I'm always an A. But the night before, okay, don't get yourself in trouble with your in-laws. I know where you went, sir.
My sister-in-law
no,
forgot the sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Well, she brought yams. Didn't make the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top. So
all right.
B.
All right. Well,
B+.
You know what? To make it better, the night before, as you're getting ready for your Thanksgiving and you turn on the game, hopefully in sweatpants, as it was a cold night up here in the New York area, the Rangers are down in Carolina. For whatever reason, it gets talked about a lot when the Rangers are in Carolina. It's an arena that the Rangers seem to play well in. So that's the first thing. And secondly, whenever the Rangers are in an arena not named at Madison Square Garden this year, they seem to be play well. So Noah Laba gets them on the board in the first period on a beautiful wrist shot. Panarin scores to make it 2-0. And then he has an absolute beautiful assist, Panarin, on the goal to Trocheck. The Rangers probably didn't deserve to win that game, and they did. But they did get outshot 36-18. And then a lot of people said to me, and I was actually didn't know this, so this is why I appreciate when people give me their opinions, that Carolina is just a shoot team mentality. So this shot total gets a little inflated because they're going to throw pucks at you all over the place. And Igor was ready for that as he stops 34 of 36 shots. And the Rangers get a good win the night before Thanksgiving. The day after Thanksgiving, they go to Boston. Now, before the game, it was announced that David Pastrnak wasn't in the lineup. It also was announced that they were going with the backup goalie. I think it's Korpisalo, if I'm not mistaken, but it was not Jeremy Swayman. You know, if there's a recipe in 2025, we'll stick on the Thanksgiving theme, right? Recipes. Yeah. If there's a recipe, and I said to you, you tell me what's in the recipe on how you win on the road in the NHL. Here's how you do it. You score early, which the Rangers did. Panarin scores early. That takes the crowd out of the game, and then you limit their chances throughout because at the end of the second period, I believe Boston only had 11 shots. That's how you win on the road in the NHL. Very, very simple. Panarin has an early goal for Artemi Panarin. He had a 4-point game. That is, and a lot of you want to get on Artemi Panarin, and some of the criticisms that you have of him are certainly valid, but that is his third 4-point game of this young season. I just want to reiterate that. That is his third 4-point game of the season.
How close is he to 50?
He'll get there. Allie's not shaving her head. She's not shaving her head.
Wow.
Mika scores a power play goal, and I want to mention because I know that I rip it all the time, and sometimes it works, and now it probably won't work till February. But hey, for that day, Mika scores on a one-timer on the power play. So for people like Chris and Dennis who are in the chat, who like to get on me all the time, and then people went at me on Friday afternoon about it, it was good to see Mika scoring the one-timer. The one thing that was a little concerning to me was that, the Rangers go into the third period there. They're up 4-0. Within 10 minutes of the third period, it's 4-2. And, you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, man, if I see this team blow a 4-goal lead in the third period, I'm going to lose my mind. The Rangers did sit back. It didn't change, until Lafreniere got the empty netter there to make it 5-2. But they did get a win. Look, whenever you can win on the road in the NHL, which the Rangers seem to be doing a lot of this year, is good. And for me, on a personal note, it was good to watch. I actually watched the game in a house of one of my best friends from growing up who was in town for the holiday. I got to watch that game with his family and his dad, who's been a Ranger fan for much longer than I have been. So a good feeling on Friday as they win to get their win streak to 3 games. Saturday afternoon, man, I'm going to try and keep this G-rated, but there's no promises here.
Oh, man.
I had an invitation, and it's going to sound – you're already laughing because you know the story. I had an invitation, and these sort of things never happen, so you take advantage of it when you can. I had an invitation for one of my son's friends to go to the Ranger game for his birthday. The dad was nice enough to kind of coordinate everything. We sat in the Madison Club. So you walk into the game, and if you've never sat in the Madison Club, and I've been there now twice in the last 2 months, but I had never been there since then for a Ranger game. If you go into the Madison Club, it is like you are living in a like heavenly world. There are unlimited lobster tails, there's unlimited filet mignon, there's sushi platters, there's unlimited candy. I mean, it's just like debauchery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going into the game. It's a holiday weekend. They've won 3 games in a row. It's what, 1:30 because the game started at 2. You're eating lobster tails. Life is good. The team's playing well. I'm about to watch this team play.
Yeah.
I've been to so many games over my lifetime in MSG. It's something that I never take it for granted. And every time I'm like a loser kid where I'm like 13 years old, where I show up at a Ranger game still and I get excited every time. Like when I walk in the building, I'm like a 13-year-old kid. I don't take going to games for granted, but I've been to so many of them. So over the course of my lifetime, I've seen some really good moments live at MSG. I could list a ton of them. I've seen horrible moments in the last year. I was at, and I talk about this game a lot, I was at the Buffalo game in November last year, where it was the only game in my life that I've ever left after the second period, except when my kids were younger, actually, when we would go to preseason games and you had to get home because it was bedtime and the game didn't matter.
Yeah.
And so you'd leave early there because it was just, it was what it was. All right.
So what made you leave early when it mattered in Buffalo?
It was just that it was in
like 7-0 and you're just like, I'm out of here.
It was bad. That game was awful. I don't even want to go back to it. But what I saw Saturday might actually, I'd have to think about this. And I don't know if I'd even come to a conclusion. It might take the cake for the worst game I've ever been at. They didn't show up. They didn't have any urgency. Mm-hmm. Every pass was just not getting connected. They didn't care. There was no effort. I'm not going to sit here and spend your time on a Wednesday morning, if you're watching it live, to go back and dissect the game Saturday where there's nothing positive. It was so bad that at the end of the second period, now the score does not reflect the game at that point. They're losing 2-1 because JT Miller scores by basically standing in front of the net on a crossing pass from Adam Fox, all right?
Yeah.
And makes it 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
I said to someone in the Madison Club, I don't know what you're doing over there. I don't want to
just get my duster.
Okay. We're not going to. Okay. I said to someone that, the score's 2-1, but they're not going to be in a position where they cannot win this game. And they didn't. And the third period was equally terrible because you're down a goal at home. You think there would be some urgency. The Rangers get outshot 35-13. That game was awful. I mean, it like if I didn't now look, it was good to be with my son. It was good to be with my son's friends. It was really good to have unlimited lobster tails, and it was really good to have a sushi tray. Like if you ever see the sushi tray in this place, I mean, I have a picture of it. If anyone wants to DM me, like I'm not joking. There's sushi there for days.
So the kids had a great time.
The kids had a great time. Now the kids, the one thing I will say, and this is why you're asking me this, okay? This is why you're asking me this. When you go to a I shouldn't say this, but when you go to a game
Yeah.
with with 7 12-year-old boys, okay?
Sounds awkward, but okay.
It does. They all now have phones, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the day and age we live in.
Yeah.
We live in, right? There was a point in the game where like the some game that they all play on their phone had an update. I don't even know the name of it. I have a video where I'm looking out at the game. So the game's going on. It's the second period. And then I pan the camera over to these 7 12-year-old kids. They are all looking straight down at the phone. They are not even aware that they are in MSG. They are not aware, but in their defense, they didn't miss anything. That Tampa game was atrocious. I'm going to just skip over it because it'll elevate my blood pressure if I talk about what I saw. Now, the other thing that we do need to talk about in the game was that Adam Fox got hurt in the game. So first off, when it happened, the Madison Club is on the side of the arena behind the net, actually where my seats are in 216. So you're behind the net where you shoot where the Rangers shoot twice. It happened on the far side of the ring. So I didn't see it really up close. I know a lot of people got on the fact immediately, well, it's typical Rangers. No one went over and retaliated against Hagel, who also scored 2 goals in the game, and then he takes out Fox. I went back and watched the hit later on because, again, I didn't see it live. I didn't think it was a dirty play. As a matter of fact, I haven't heard anything at all about Hagel having a hearing or anything of that nature. I thought it was a really clean play. I don't have a problem with the Rangers not going after Hagel in that situation because, 1, the play kept going. 2, it really was deemed a clean hit. And 3, you have to continue to play. And at the moment, you probably didn't know how bad Fox was hurt. Fox on Sunday, it's announced, would going to go to the IR and would be week to week. I believe that's what it was, week to week. The Rangers are notorious, and I say this every single time a player on the Rangers gets hurt. I feel like it gets worse and worse, by the way, that they never give you any information. Like Matt Rempe got hurt in October in a fight with Ryan Reeves. No one has said anything except he's on the IR. There is a woman, a girl, I don't even know how old she is, that posted a picture on Instagram the other day, like she was out at a bar and saw Matt Rempe. Hey, Matt Rempe, can I have a picture with you? Well, if you look at Matt Rempe in the picture, he's got like a cast or something all over his hand. So now you know what happened, but you know what happened because some random girl saw him on 23rd Street, posted a picture. The team will never say anything.
Upper body injury.
Yeah, upper body injury. That's it. The team, that's all they'll ever say. You know what? So-and-so is out with an upper body injury. So-and-so is out with a lower body injury. They give you nothing. They absolutely give you nothing. However, if you look at
the best is what month to month, week to week.
Yeah, you know what? He's year to year. He may be back this year. He might be back in 2027, or it could be 2028.
Month to month.
But when you look at Fox's injury and you look at how he's hunched over, I mean, I would guess, and you kind of zoom in on the replay of the hit from Hagel. I'm going to guess, and I'm not a doctor, or I'm not anything close to a doctor, but I'm going to guess I'm right. It's probably his shoulder. It's in some way, form, it's the shoulder. Now, again, this is not just a Ranger thing. It's not like, when Jack Hughes got hurt and he had the finger injury with the Frank the Tank dinner at Cut Steakhouse in Chicago, the Devil sat here and gave you a plethora of information. They didn't. But we cover the Rangers here, so I'm going to tell you what the Rangers do to annoy me. I don't care what the other 31 teams do. So, all right, last night they played Dallas. So I am now, something I screwed up on. Right. And you guys like when I bring my kids and my family into the discussion. So I'll do that here for you. I am 0-5 this year. And after going there on Saturday, we were taking they rented like a Sprinter van to go home. And I was thinking
from the Madison Club.
And then we actually went out to dinner after.
You had room?
No.
Lobster tail?
No, I didn't. So I was content going home.
Yeah.
And someone said, well, we should all go out to eat. Now, I'm not driving, right? I'm not in a position to say, no, I just want to go home.
Mhm.
But I was like, oh my God, how can I eat? And then we walk into the restaurant, and I actually, true story, I asked the waiter, they had like chicken soup on the menu. And I asked him, like, how's the soup? And he had said, you can't get the soup here. You have to get the chicken parm. And then everyone else at the table was like, oh, you got to get the chicken parm when you come here. So I ordered chicken parm, but I barely ate it because, again, I honestly had over 20 lobster tails because they were like split. It was
What?
and sushi and cake pops and prime rib. Like, it's just not
The
wasn't.
Madison Club.
All right. So last night, Dallas, I couldn't sell my tickets because no one wanted it. And I said, as I was alluding to a minute ago, when I was going home on that Sprinter van, I said, I need like a mental break. I'll be back this year. I'm going to go on my birthday on January 14th because they're home versus Ottawa. But I need like a mental break. I'm not going to go. My tickets were not selling because you all know I have 14 tickets and I had a bunch of tickets that didn't sell. And I was like debating whether to go. My 2 kids wanted to go. My wife couldn't go because she's a teacher and they had, parent conferences or whatever last night. So I thought to myself, like, do I go and take them? And then I saw the weather, and then my son had a physical after school. I'm like, I'm not dealing with it. And I was there Saturday. I screwed up. I obviously should have went.
Do
But
you think people didn't want to go and why people didn't take your tickets because they were like panicking from the game before?
I think it's that. I think it's a Tuesday night game. I don't think Dallas has a huge following, even though they're a good team. They're not a huge draw ticket wise. The weather was terrible. I think a lot of things went into it. And I mean, eventually I sold them. But so last night, if you are capable,
yes,
if you are of the mindset, let me say it like this.
Yes.
Let me reiterate let me go back to the beginning because I want to make sure I say this right.
Mm-hmm.
If you are of the mindset that the 2025-2026 New York Rangers are capable of winning the Stanley Cup, if you are of that mindset,
yeah,
and you go into a trial or a jury or whatever, last night is your best piece of evidence that you can use to prove your point. I am not of that mindset. I don't think that they are.
mm-hmm.
But if you are of that mindset, because I know some of you are, because you talk to me on DMs, and some of you are incredibly optimistic sometimes, and I'm like, what are you smoking? So I know that you exist. And if you do exist, last night against Dallas was your biggest piece of evidence. Carson Soucy gets on the board early. You know what? If you're a young kid, and I ref outdoor hockey, and I could see my supervisor of officials is in the chat room, and that all starts this weekend. If you're a kid and you're learning the game, maybe you find us, and you're trying to learn the game, or you're just getting into hockey, 101 hockey, go to the net. And that's what Carson Soucy does.
Mm-hmm.
It should also be illustrated last night that on that goal, look, we've gotten on Connor Sheary. I probably haven't gotten on Connor Sheary enough because some people cannot stand him. I've even seen Chris call him Connor Sullivan because he's married to Mike Sullivan's niece. And I actually said to my daughter last night that Connor Sheary is on the team because he's related to Mike Sullivan. She thought I was joking, and I'm like, no, he actually is married to her niece. Anyway, Connor Sheary makes a great heads-up play with the penalty expiring to move that puck up the ice. But again, go to the net, go to the net, go to the net. 20 shots in the third period alone. Adam Fox, again, this is the first game that they didn't have Adam Fox, and they had a tremendous amount of shots and offensive creation against a very, very good Dallas team. So that was good. Let's talk about the best part of the game that is not being talked about. And somebody about 20 minutes ago, I don't remember who it was, DM'd me this aspect. And I said, thank you for pointing this out. We are talking about this on the podcast. I have not seen it. And it is this. We have talked for 2 months now, unfortunately, that at home, when something goes wrong with this team in a game, they crumble.
Yes.
That's it. They let up the tying goal. Then here comes the winning goal. Something goes wrong, and they lose their fight. The Minnesota game that I was at, the Edmonton game that I was at, the Washington game that I was at. I can go on and on. The Detroit game I was at 2 weeks ago on Sunday. It's a very common theme.
They pull the goalie. They score right away.
Right?
Yes.
Last night, they are tied at 1, playing probably, but I wouldn't even use the word probably. I would say almost definitively their best game of the season.
Nice.
And what happens? JT Miller doesn't make a great play. It comes down the other ice. And Mikko Rantanen, he's a goal scorer, knuckle pucks that puck in the net, and they go down 2-1. At that point, if you were betting, you would have to think and assume, right, that That's it. They're going to now crumble. It
Mhm.
is now over. They will give up. They did not do that. Not only did they come back and tie the game, which we'll talk about in a minute, they had plenty of chances from when Rattanen scored that goal to put Dallas up 2-1 to when Cooley tied it. They didn't deflate. It wasn't like something came out of like the air has been taken out of the balloon, right? They actually kept fighting. Last night,
Mhm.
they clearly deserve the 2 points. There are games in hockey, and you know this because you have Igor Shesterkin as your goalie. Matter of fact, I look at the game last December in Dallas. I just thought of this, right? They won last year in Dallas, but they didn't deserve to win. I think they got outshot like 40 to something, but they did because of Igor Shesterkin. No, last night they deserved the 2 points, and that's what they got.
Mhm.
Now, when they pulled the goalie last night, I said to my wife because we were watching the game, why even bother? Again, similar script. You pull the goalie. Not only will they not get chances, it'll take the team 20 seconds to score with it throwing the puck down the ice. Obviously, I was wrong as Will Cooley scores. A similar goal to Carson Soucy in the fact that he goes to the net. But here's what I want you to watch.
Mhm.
I want you to spend 3 seconds today. Is all it's going to take. All right. And do this. All right. When Will Cooley takes the rebound, and I can't remember who gives that shot to the net. Will Cooley has made such a play to get that puck on his forehand with the defender on him to then put it through to Smith's legs and tie the game. That is a great, great play by Will Cooley. Gavrikov in overtime wins it. Overtime in the NHL is all about possession. It is 110% about possession. And Dallas starts with possession. And of course, pessimistic me. Well, it's not going to take long. Dallas is going to get the game winner here, and we're all going to have to go home. But they didn't do so. Mika comes up the ice with the puck, gains the offensive zone, gives it to Panarin. Panarin takes a shot, and then Gavrikov is there on the winner. That is a very, very good win. Now, I'm going to go on record here,
Mhm.
and I'm not doing this to kill the buzz today, but I'm doing this because I think this is important to understand.
Yeah.
If the Rangers go into Ottawa tomorrow night
Mhm.
and play bad, if the Rangers this weekend, and they have a brutal home and home with Colorado and Vegas Saturday and Sunday,
Mhm.
and we don't even know if Quick's back. So if you then go and you don't follow up that win and build off of it, then win means nothing. Then it's just a regular 2-point win,
Yeah.
right? For that win to be the kind of thing that like you look back at when you look back at the outdoor classic versus the Islanders or something like that, where you want it to be a bigger win, something that catapults you and carries your team,
Mhm.
then you need to follow it up tomorrow night in Ottawa. And you need to follow it up over the weekend.
So if you don't,
If you don't, then it's just a regular win. It's no different than winning in Boston last week and then coming home the next day and getting blasted by Tampa.
I mean, looking at the standings too, like the Metro, it's anybody's race here.
I haven't. My son asked me a lot, and
34 points to the Hurricanes.
I
and the
do.
Capitals.
I do. My son a disservice sometimes because he always asks me like if the playoff started today would the Rangers be in it, and I've been telling him lately like I haven't really looked because it's so early. But let's look at the Metropolitan Division.
It's anybody's race here. You win 2 games, you're in it.
You know what's amazing looking at this? And full disclosure,
you won half the home games.
Full disclosure,
league.
No, full disclosure. I did not know this, so I'm actually looking at this surprised because I haven't looked at the standings. I really haven't.
Mm-hmm.
The Rangers have 30 points, right?
Yes.
The leading team in the division is a tie between the Hurricanes and the Caps. Now, granted, the Rangers have played more games.
Mm-hmm.
The Rangers are 4 points out of first place. That's two games.
Yeah. Win 2 games. Now imagine if you won half of your home games or like a third of your home games.
Well, the other thing is this. You're right. I'm sorry. I should have just jumped on what you said. If you had won half of your home games, you're in first place.
Yeah.
That's just half of them, right? And you'd be annoyed because you'd be like, well, they're 11-2 on the road and they're 5-5 at home. What's going on? But no, they're like what? They've won 3 games. They're 3-8 at home.
Yeah.
I mean, and also Nikolai, who's saying in the chat last night was a deja vu game. I am going to assume that he is referring to, I believe it was 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was 2 years ago when they played Dallas at home. It was a Thursday night game in January, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And Keandre Miller tied the game with like less than 3 seconds left in the third. and then they went on to win it in overtime on an Adam Fox backhand.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Dallas is one of these teams that's good, but they don't have a lot of luck at MSG.
So we got what, an 82 game season, right? So we're at the halfway mark.
No, we're not. We are at play 28 games, so the halfway part would be 41.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So we're getting there.
Almost at the
Dennis
halfway
is
mark.
saying that last night's home game was their best home game of the season. I would argue that, well, you're right, but I would actually argue it might even be their best game overall, even on the road. They've played some. I'm trying to think of like a road win that would be better. I'm going to go in order here. Pittsburgh, no. Buffalo, no. Carolina, they didn't deserve to win. Montreal, they had to come back. Out west, well, Edmonton was a good win. They came back actually. Let's see, Vancouver, Seattle was a good win. I would say last night was their best game overall in the entire season, home or away. But again, if you then follow it up tomorrow night in Ottawa and don't do anything and lose 4-1, then last night I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Gotta build.
Got to build off of it. So, and Jeff Adelson is saying we are not at the All-Star break yet. That is true. And there is no All-Star break this year because of the Olympics.
Oh.
There is no All-Star break. So the Rangers tomorrow night up in Ottawa, and then what a brutal home and back-to-back at home this weekend. Colorado and Vegas. That is not easy. And Dennis is saying that Quick has been on the ice, so Quick will probably play one of those games. I would assume if he's playing one of them, Quick plays Sunday, you give him an extra day rest, and you want Igor Shesterkin to play against Colorado. One thing that you guys, so this morning, a lot of you had sent in like last minute questions like, hey, I don't know if you have the podcast stuff done yet. So can I throw in a couple questions here or there? I had a topic that some of you had asked me over the weekend after the Tampa game to go to discuss. And that was a kind of off of a Dan Rosen tweet on Saturday, which was, or Sunday when Fox was announced to go to the IR, like, at this point, do you just play the kids? Do you turn around and do you just say, all right, kids come up, trade what you can. It's not your season.
Mm-hmm.
I think after last night, it's even harder to answer that question, but I want to answer that question because you guys, a bunch of you had asked me to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can ever send a message to your fans on December 3rd or the beginning of December that we're getting rid of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that we're going to give up on the season. You can't do that. Granted, you've sold your season tickets to the schmucks like me that buy it, but you're not going to sell that message to fans. The other two pieces of information that would make me think that they would never do that is, I'm not saying the Rangers are this team, but I do think it's something that you need to keep in mind. And that is the 2019 St. Louis Blues, right? That is a team that when the new year turned into the new decade of 2020, they had the worst record of anyone that ever went on to win the Stanley Cup. And their record at that time was far worse than this team. Now, does that mean that this Ranger team is going to be the 2020 or 2019 Blues? No, I don't think that at all. But I do think that has to sit in the back of a team's mind to say, before I throw away a season or give up on a year mid-season before the season's over, I've got to have ample reason to do so.
Before you start to panic.
Correct. The other thing is, you just re-signed Igor Shesterkin to the largest goalie contract in history.
Mm-hmm.
How then in year one of his contract, or really almost any years where you're paying him that amount of money and $11.5 million, do you turn around and say, I'm going to give up? Right? I'm going to sit here and just say, you know what? We're paying you, but you know, we're going to give up and trade the players and bring up the kids. So even if they didn't win last night, they're not at a point. You're definitely not on December 3rd. Now, you want to say you come back from the Olympic break and it's the beginning of March and you're now 10 points out of the playoffs and the trade deadline's coming up and someone's calling Chris Drury because they want to make a deep playoff run and Artemi Panarin still hasn't re-signed. Yeah, that's a different story. But right now, where you are in the beginning of December, I wouldn't do it. And Chris is saying in the chat, the kids are the future. He says that so sarcastically. Like, I can actually sense the sarcasm through it. Coffee Sports Collectibles, who is on the chat, I want to mention for a minute. They had sent me, and we're going to do something with it, and I apologize I haven't worked out reached out to you. It sent me at my house last week. I got a box, and it came, USPS. It came and it said MYPB.
Nice.
Which is odd because
Yeah.
normally it's not, the address is either to me or my wife there. But they sent me an autographed Adam Fox jersey.
That's awesome.
Which was super cool, an autographed puck and all that. We're gonna do something with it, a giveaway. I don't know if it's gonna be the holidays, although we're kind of getting up against it. Maybe it's a New Year's thing. We're gonna do something, and I've been meaning to reach out, but we're going to definitely do something with it. So I thank you guys for sending that to me. I screwed up, and Chris saw the video. You guys are all more technical than I am. We videoed me opening it because I honestly had no idea what was in the box.
Mm-hmm.
So we videoed with it with my daughter. I have the video.
Nice.
I could show anyone if they want to see it.
John Gruden opened up one of his NFL boxes.
So we open up the box,
Yeah.
right? And apparently on my phone, because I think my wife was like videoing my wife and I opening the box. But in the background of my phone, I must have had Spotify running and didn't know it. And Taylor Swift was on. So in the video, you see me opening it up.
Yeah.
And it's actually just like you don't hear me. You hear Taylor Swift singing to it. It's very terrible what I did. I don't know why that happened. I still don't know. I'm not technology savvy enough to know these things. However, it was not ideal. But anyway, we thank Coffee Sports Collectibles for that. So the Rangers, as mentioned, tomorrow in Ottawa, north of the border, home this weekend back-to-back. Then we are on Wednesday, and then next Wednesday night, they are on the road in Chicago, who's playing pretty well. Connor Bedard last night with another goal. And Nikolai saying that the music wasn't quite loud enough in the video. He is one of the few that saw the video. I believe he's actually the one that pointed out to me. I would have actually probably posted it
if the music wasn't.
No, if Nikolai didn't tell me, I didn't. I never watch these things. I usually try. So like the post game recaps, like last night, right? And my wife, who is now being discussed in the chat, I see by her number one fan, will back me up on this. When I do the post game recaps, I try to do them right away, and I don't ever edit them. I do it in one take because I want to be like real and authentic, right? And so I it's similar here. Like I'm trying to give you my opinion and sometimes not think about it, but I want to be like raw with it. Jeff Adelson, I'll take my birthday is on New Year's Eve. Jeff Adelson turns 40 on New Year's Eve.
Is he going to be turning 40 in New York? That's the question that everyone wants to know.
No, Jeff will be turning 40 in South Florida.
No, he's not making an appearance.
Not that I am aware of. So the Rangers are out west. All right. Last week, can we talk? So I have another positive thing.
You're the only one. The chat's full of fights going on.
No, I see the chat is full of fights. I see it from a distance. I'll deal with it.
Jeez Louise, we're all family here.
Yeah, and Dennis was saying he's going to Florida for the Winter Classic. Actually, my wife was going to go, and then we wanted to go, and then he bailed, and now he's back in. You can't make it up. Anyway, positivity ran supreme on episode 212.
Yeah.
Last night, the Rangers with their best win of the season. We were 5-0 in NFL picks last week. Legit 5-0 with the spread. All right.
Making a turn.
We had the Packers plus 2.5 at the Lions on Thanksgiving. They won the game outright. We had the Cowboys at home plus 3.5 against the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. They won the game outright. We had the Saints plus 6 in Miami. They didn't win, but they got plus 6. We had the Jets plus 2.5 versus the Falcons. They won the game outright on a long Nick Folk field goal. And we had my wife's Buffalo Bills minus 3.5 at the Steelers. It wasn't looking good early, but they ended up covering by a mile. And so we had a 5-0 week. And
nice.
We have. So let's do our week 14 picks for Mind Your Puck in Business. I like the Steelers plus 6 at Baltimore. It's hard to trust Baltimore, right? The Steelers aren't good, but Baltimore's not good either. That's a lot of points. Maybe Mike Tomlin's job is on the line if that's possible, and you want to believe some of the rumors. So I'm going to take them plus 6 in Baltimore. I like the Vikings minus 1.5 at home versus Washington. Washington stinks. So does the Vikings, but they stink. Like if you're the Vikings and you can't cover minus 1.5 versus a team that doesn't have Jaden Daniels, that doesn't even look like they're even trying, I mean, I give up. So I'm taking the Vikings minus 1.5. I like the Bears plus 6.5 at the Packers. I think the Packers will win, but man, this is a really good game. You have two good teams, rivals now for the first time, good at the same time. That's a lot of points for teams that are right in line with each other in the standings. Give me the Bears plus 6.5 at Lambeau Field. I like the Chiefs minus 3.5 at the Texans. Is the Chiefs' time up? Well, if it isn't, they got to win. So the pressure's on them now. The Texans are not good. Chiefs better step up and win this one. Minus 3.5 is not a lot to cover. Last, I'm picking the Buffalo game for my wife, but you won't like this pick. I'm taking the Bengals plus 5.5 at Buffalo. The Bengals, with Joe Burrow coming back last week on Thanksgiving night, looked pretty good. Buffalo is kind of 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off. Maybe Buffalo's on and wins the game, but 5.5 is a lot for a team that's kind of off and on. I'm taking the Bengals. So to recap the Week 14 picks, I like the Steelers plus 6 in Baltimore. I like the Vikings minus 1.5 at home versus the Commanders. I like the Bears plus 6.5 at Lambeau Field against the Packers. The Chiefs minus 3.5 at home versus the Texans at Arrowhead Stadium. And lastly, up in Orchard Park, New York, the Bengals plus 5.5 at the Bills.
I think that's a must-win game for the Bills.
It is a must-win game for the Bills. I meant to, the other day, and I'll do it right now live, I meant to look and see what team right now, because the Rams lost this weekend also.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious what team is the actual Super Bowl favorite, right? The Eagles aren't playing well. No one is really running away with it. Do we know? Let's see.
It's not the usual suspects. It's like the Patriots,
Oh,
Denver.
God, it probably is the Patriots. Let's see.
Denver, Patriots.
So we're gonna look this up live on the air. So the team right now with the best Super Bowl winning odds is actually the Rams plus 450. I don't like that at all. Then you have the Seahawks and the Packers and then the Bills. So the Bills, if you are a Buffalo Bills fan, have the best odds of the AFC. So they are saying the conference winner of the AFC. Well, this is weird. No, hold on a second.
How is that possible?
How is the odds to win the AFC? The Patriots have the best odds to win the AFC.
And the Broncos.
But no, hold on. Explain this to me. So to win the AFC, the Patriots have better odds than the Bills.
Yeah.
But to win the Super Bowl, the Bills have better odds than the Patriots. Seems a little weird.
That is a little weird. Well, I mean,
I wouldn't touch the Rams at plus 420. That's a horrible.
Yeah, I'm not.
They just lost to the Panthers, right? This week.
They're 9-3. And let's see their schedule here. I don't think they play anyone that's that crazy. Their schedule's not.
Now the Penn Allen comment again. This is directed at my wife because
they lost to the Panthers.
Yeah, I know. So my wife likes Artemi Panarin and Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So the joke now that people have is Penn Allen, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of Panarin, it's Penn Allen because they both joke. Yeah. I was on a website.
Yeah.
The other day that you can order jerseys from for cheap.
Make a Penn Allen jersey?
No. I'm not making a Penn Allen jersey.
That'd be awesome.
She would not be happy with that. And they did have Buffalo gear for cheap. Mm-hmm. So I did maybe buy her one, but it does not say Penn Allen on it. Wouldn't be worn. I think it actually.
Your next shipment. Let me know when the next shipment is.
I think it actually might be. Now that I think about it, I think it might be Josh Allen. I mean, it's definitely not Penn Allen.
Yeah, what other jersey would have you gotten from Buffalo?
But it may have been a sweat. I don't remember if it had a name on it. But if it did, I'm sure. What other player would you get there? You wouldn't get James Cook, right? You wouldn't get. I don't even know I can't even think of the receiver's name.
He's not there anymore. Stephon Diggs is on the.
Well,
Patriots.
He's on the Patriots. Yeah, he is. All right. So, before we go, if there's any other New York Ranger questions, we'll take a couple off.
Alvin's crying. Who made Alvin cry?
Because they're talking about Josh Penn Allen is what they're doing him. So let's take some of the Instagram comments. I'll bring it up. It's painful to listen to Dave Maloney. Brian Boyle should be in that spot. I put up on Twitter or X before we said it, and people are agreeing because now someone's saying Dave sounds intoxicated most nights. I put up there last night. You need to listen to Kenny Albert's calls last night. And I say calls plural. You need to listen to his call of the Will Cooley tying goal. And you need to listen to his call of the winner in overtime. Kenny Albert is more than capable of being the Ranger play-by-play guy. I understand that people want to get upset that it's not Sam Rosen. I get it. Okay. I get it. Mm-hmm. It's fair. Sam Rosen was great. We all had no problem with Sam Rosen. But Kenny Albert's calls last night were awesome. He's been good. And as we talked about, Kenny Albert does national games. So if you have the national guy as your local guy, kind of reminding me of the Devils for all those years where they had Doc Emmerich as their play-by-play guy when other teams were spoiled with him nationally, you do well.
Yes.
And now a pinch of cute is saying, and this is where the criticism is right. The Ranger games are Kenny's backup. He calls everything else first. Kenny Albert right now is in the middle of the NFL season. By the way, a lot of you won't remember this because some of you are newer Ranger fans. Sam Rosen used to be in this exact same situation. He was not the top play-by-play guy for the NFL on Fox, but he was a play-by-play guy. And he would get sent every week on a Sunday somewhere not exciting. Like he would get the Arizona Cardinal game versus the Seattle Seahawks, okay? Mm-hmm. And so Sam Rosen was not there. It's no different with Kenny Albert. What you are seeing with Kenny Albert right now is no different than what it used to be with Sam Rosen. I would think that when the NFL season ends on Fox, which is really only 4 more weeks of Sunday football, you're going to have Kenny Albert the rest of the way. Nice. Brian Boyle has been good. My only thing with Brian Boyle, and I like Brian Boyle, I mean, look, his story, I mean, how do you not love the guy? Is I think sometimes he's in situations where he shouldn't be monotone. Like he could show more excitement and enthusiasm in his voice, and he doesn't. He's not a play-by-play guy, so maybe it's not his responsibility to do so. But I don't mind Boyle. Maloney's okay to me.
No reason why you should have emotion if you're the color commentary.
Yeah, but there are times where like Maloney, for example, is the opposite, okay? Because he loves this team, right? Mm-hmm. He's a lifer. Brian Boyle grew up in Massachusetts. I'm sure he didn't grow up a Ranger fan, and he played here, but he also played in a lot of other places. So I don't think his loyalty to the Rangers is what Maloney's is. Not his blood. Maloney, though, sometimes, like last night, I don't know if anyone saw this. The first 21 seconds of the game, there's a face-off. So it's 19:39 left in the first period. There's a face-off in front of Igor last night. The Rangers are outshot 2-0. We're 21 seconds into the game last night. Go back and watch this on your DVRs. I swear this happened. I should have brought this up earlier because it stuck with me, all right? Yeah. The Rangers are getting outshot 2-0. You're 21 seconds into the game. Dave Maloney makes a comment, something like, what is this nonsense start? It was something like nonsense. And I thought to myself, like, what is he talking about? Because I looked up, like, did I miss something? Am I like, did I fall asleep and it's now 6-0? No, the shots were 2-0. But he's the opposite of Boyle, where he shows probably more emotion than he should. It's like pick the way you like your coffee, okay? Like there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just everyone has their own preference. Yeah. Maloney is going to possibly get himself in trouble if it didn't happen already, where he's going to say something very critical of the team, and MSG Networks is not going to like that. Dave Maloney is a risk for that. 100%. I would bet that by the end of the season, he has done something to do it.
You need that emotion. You need a little passion.
And Maloney trashed Panarin. So Alvin is saying that Maloney trashed Panarin for not showing
Chris
up. Chris
is going to love it.
Well, then Chris will love it, as will Dennis. Dennis is now saying playoff Aaron instead of Panarin, playoff Aaron. Right. Boy, these people go right at our tummy, Panarin. Yeah. My wife will never come on like anything like this, but I can
tell you, Panarin. Panarin's never going to be a guest with you guys.
He never would, but yeah. So MSG doesn't like negative talk. Dennis is right. Charles Oakley. Now, if those of you who are not Knicks fans may not know that
was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, Charles Oakley got banned from the Garden. And he actually got it out of it. Now, we'll take Johnny Lazarus's comments, and that is, I love them both, talking about Maloney and Boyle. I love them both. As a fan, I always love the mix of being a homer but keeping it honest too. Yeah, I think Johnny's right. Like I think it's a matter of, hey, well, there's no right or wrong answer. It's your personal preference. Mm-hmm. They've been fine. You know what? The Rangers have had so many more issues already in 2 months that for me to be worried about like what the color play-by-play guy is showing emotion, I wish that was the only thing we could talk about. 2 years ago, with the way things went that year, you would talk about that because everything else just ran on autopilot for 8 months. Mm-hmm. It was just greatness after greatness after greatness after greatness. Now, I don't know. Alvin is saying, I enjoyed when Dave called out the refs after Carrick's penalty. So this is in reference to, I was at this game. Actually, Alvin was there too with me. is when we were at that game, we were both in the same section. And Kelly Sutherland called might be the worst penalty you've ever seen. And Kelly Sutherland is a senior ref in the league. He gets the Stanley Cup Finals a lot of years. I think he called it as holding the stick or hooking on Sam Carrick, who did nothing, who did absolutely nothing. All right, so the Rangers tomorrow night up in Ottawa, trying to build off of last night's positivity, and then home this weekend. I'm debating. I'm definitely not going on Saturday because I have to ref. Thank you, Dennis, who is in the chat. But I couldn't go anyway, so that's not fair to blame him. But I'm debating. Right now I have like 14 tickets left for Sunday night. I don't know if my kids have sports. That's the other thing that's kind of holding this up. I could see a situation where I go. And people are asking where Faust came from. Johnny Lazarus with the answer. Faust spent years with the LA Kings, came from Northeastern. He's awesome. And I would agree. And Johnny would know that because Johnny's a Hockey East guy, which is Northeastern. Johnny's a UMass guy. Alex Faust is pretty good. Yes. I'll be honest. I didn't know where he was from either, where he came from, but he's been good. And when he's filled in for Sam on these days where Sam has the NFL on Fox, I've had no problems. Like he had that Montreal game. I thought Alex, Faust, early on in the season, a Saturday night original 6 game in Montreal, the way that game went back and forth, I thought he was very good. So, and people in the chat telling me don't go Sunday night. I probably won't. I don't know. I'm debating it. We'll see. Anyway, we thank the Bamboozle Project as always for their sponsorship. Go to www.thebamboozleproject.com. Use promo code MYPB at checkout. Save yourself the Win It for Sam shirts that sold out the other day. They're back in stock. Bunch of stuff on there. Holiday gear you can get. DraftKings as well. We thank you. Anything else on your end?
Give them a little Super Cyber Wednesday with 20% off MYPB promo code.
Yes. Everyone, these people think that the Rangers lose because of the shirt that I wear to the game, which is the MYPB shirt. I can assure you it has nothing to do with it. I've seen them win in the shirt, by the way. They won the Columbus game that they won. It was 0-0 going into the shootout in January. I think it was January 18th. Trocheck scored the only goal in the shootout. I was at that game wearing the shirt. Okay. So I was there.
People are asking for
people are asking for info on my hockey team and asking who the goalie is on my beer league team. We're not getting into
the panic button here as well.
There's you can't do. They've won. So let me also just reiterate: they've won 4 of the last 5 games. We're not doing the panic button.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll probably come.
I'll ask for it, guys. I appreciate the support. I'll ask for it when the time is right.
Yes,
we won in overtime last night. If we didn't win last night, I'd be pushing a little more.
If you lost last night in the sense that you lost to Tampa, you would have had a chance today of pushing it.
Yeah.
But if you had lost, if they lost 2-1 because Ratnan scored and they never tied it and they played well, I'm not sure that I would.
People want to see it now too. Dennis wants to see it. It's right there.
The worst thing that people could do that watch us live is have you encourage you with a stupid panic button thing. It really is.
Panic button.
Anyway, all of you have a good week. We hope you had a good Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you next week.